Well, Guardians, I got the new exotic sword, the LAMENT, and in this video, we're going to show you exactly how to get it, step by step. Alright, Guardians, here's the sword, and we will be showing you how to get it in this video, but first off, the last thing the Vex ever heard, the grinding wails of a vicious Banshee, and the exotic intrinsic perk is known as Banshee's Wail. L2 press, hold to rev the blade, increases damage, shield bypass, and adds, the anti-barrier, shield piercing, to all attacks. Gains stacks when dealing damage with revved attacks. Additional stacks increases the damage and damage resistance of heavy attacks. Along with that, we've also got Jagged Edge, increases damage at the cost of sword ammo. Enduring Guard. Sword Guard has a maximized efficiency and high endurance but low resistance. Tireless Blade. Sword ammo granted for every other powered sword kill. And then Rev Consumption, which is damaging and combatant, heals the wielder. So basically, you can get health, you can have really strong power attacks, it gets extra damage if you use its special perk, Banshee's Wail, and you can also get some of the ammo back if you get sword kills repeatedly. This sword is absolutely amazing, and you actually get to use it in the quest. So, without further ado, let's jump into step 1. Step 1 is very simple. First off, there was a raid team that completed the raid for this week, and after that, this quest was available to pick up from Banshee 44. All you had to do is go to Banshee, grab the quest, and begin step 1, which is find dead Exos. You had to find 3 of them. I believe there is 9 in total throughout the map of Europa. The 3 easiest Exos to find is going to be in the Cadmus area. So from Cadmus, you can actually go into the Braytech Bioscience facility, and the first room that you enter inside of this area is going to actually have another room off to the right. That room's going to have a bunch of dead Exos in it. In the video footage I'm walking in it right now, the back right of that room will be a white Exo you're going to want to activate. The next one is in Cadmus, across from the Vex structure on a hill. You're going to jump up onto that hill, find a dead Exo, and you're going to activate that one right here in the footage. Final Exo for step 1 is simply in the boss room of the Lost Sector Perdition found in the Cadmus area. You're going to want to go into the front left of that boss room, activate that, and then step 2 is finding the giant Exo. I'm going to speed up the footage for this part just because it's a long distance. All you want to do is go to the Cadmus area, go down into the Braytech research facility, and go all the way to the last room. That last room will have the giant Clovis Bray AI head. All I'm going to do is speed up the footage so you guys can actually see which way I'm taking, so you can figure out where you've got to jump, where you've got to go. With that though, just follow the footage here, or you can go to your map and mark the destination icon and just follow the symbol all the way there. It's on your map. It's a location that's going to be readily available to all of you that is on this step. But without further ado, once you find the head, talk to it, and then you'll be on step 3. Step 3 is actually fairly easy. All you have to do is take a sword and go and kill 100 Vex and 20 Minotaurs, Hydras, or I would say the Wyverns. Those are the high level Vex. Now, it is very easy to complete this step by simply going into the Perdition Lost Sector, again on Cadmus. Now, go to Cadmus on Europa, go down into Perdition, start killing all of the Vex with a sword. Now, the sword kills without ammo also count as long as you're holding and equipping your sword and you melee them with the sword hilt. It does count for completion. Remember that when you're doing this, and it should only take a couple of runs of Perdition to successfully complete this step. Next step for the sword is to complete the Exo Challenge for this week, and if you haven't completed the new quest from Varix yet, you'll also be able to complete that while doing this step. So grab both quests, the Lost Sword quest and the Old Secrets New Challenges quest from Varix, and complete both of them simultaneously. With that being said, the Exo Challenge is a very unique quest that I will go over now. In this phase of the quest, you're going to have a huge obstacle course where you have to fight Vex throughout that obstacle course in harsh weather conditions. The Europa weather conditions, this is all a simulation by the way, but you're going to be trying to prove yourself to the Clovis Bray AI. Now, these weather conditions have a stat that will pop up that will freeze your character. Once you get to a ×10 on this stat, you start losing health rapidly. To fix this, there are going to be giant fires throughout the map that you're going to want to stand next to until this stat goes away or goes completely down to 0. You also can kill enemies if there is no fire nearby, and they drop these little red motes. Pick those motes up because that will also bring the stat down by ×1. Again, if you get to ×10, your health will start dropping rapidly. And if you're fighting enemies while your health is dropping, this calls for a little bit of concern because you're going to be losing health from the enemies and you're also going to be losing health from the environment. Now, once you get to the end, all the way to the top of this obstacle course, you will have to fight a giant Vex. Make sure that you jump into the fire of the middle of the battlefield to lower the stat for being frozen and do damage to the boss while also trying to fight off the enemies. If you have to take cover during the boss fight, don't worry. Just make sure you take cover, let the Vex little enemies come near you, kill them really quickly, pick up the motes on the ground, and stay away from the boss. If your stat is dropped down to 0 and you have no issue with losing health, go out in the middle of the open, do some boss damage. Now I will let you know that this step does require a minimum light level of 1230. So if you aren't at 1230 light, you might have a difficulty completing this. I know I was 1233 and I still had a little bit of concern on the boss fight due to the mechanics of being frozen and losing health from that, also having to deal with the ads, and the boss does a considerable amount of damage, so I would be wary of that as well. But once you've completed this step, it's on to the next one. This next step is very easy, and once again, you're going to want to go to the Perdition Lost Sector. It's doing Vex finisher kills. Now, all you've got to do is take a weak weapon into this Lost Sector and finish every single one of the Vex that you come across. And then also, you're going to want to have to do this run maybe 1 to 2 times. I know it took me about 1 1/4 runs through the Lost Sector to complete this step, but again, it only took me about 10 minutes, so it wasn't very difficult. This next part is very easy. All you have to do is go to the Glassway Strike and collect the blade pieces. Now to collect the blade pieces, all you're going to want to do is go through the strike as normal, kill Vex, and by the time you get to the boss room, it will auto-complete. Now, that is a very easy step altogether, and for some reason, if you complete the entire strike and you haven't completed this step, all you gotta do is go back into the strike and try it again. Now, I didn't have that issue, but I did have a friend that had the issue, so make sure that you just go through the strike and kill as many ads as possible, and eventually, it'll pop up on the screen. Next step after the strike, go and talk to Banshee 44 for the next step completion and onward to the next step. Also, I'm going to have everything muted in this video because I don't want you guys to learn any of the story or lore behind this weapon in Banshee 44 along with Clovis Bray because it is a unique story and I want you all to figure it out on your own. Next step, Guardians, is very easy. Go down into the Eventide ruins on Europa, jump down into the bunker E15, and loot the abandoned bunker. All you gotta do is kill the boss at the end of the Lost Sector, open the chest, and boom. Lost LAMENT blueprints, and now we're on to almost the final quest step. This quest step is going to be the quest Lost LAMENT, which is actually forming the sword out of the pieces in the blueprints that you've acquired so far from this quest. Now, I don't want to ruin the quest for you, so I'm going to just cut it off right there. The quest is fairly straightforward and simple, but there's a lot of information that's going on. I just want to cut to the end of the quest where you're using the sword and show off a little bit of the gameplay Maybe you'll enjoy it, maybe you won't, but I honestly believe that the sword's pretty epic, so definitely complete this quest and get the sword. And then you're on to the final step. Now we've watched a little bit of the sword gameplay, so what is the final step? Simply go and talk to Banshee 44. I'll have this segment muted as well because Banshee 44 tells you some pretty interesting information. But there you have it, Guardians. That's it. Once you've talked to Banshee 44, that's step 11 out of this entire quest. The quest is complete. Banshee gives you the sword permanently, and you get to use it however you see fit. This exotic sword is available to all Guardians as of right now because a select few Guardians did go and complete the raid this week and unlocked the quest for us. All you got to do to start the quest is simply go and pick it up at Banshee 44 in the tower. And that means every single one of you Guardians better get out there and get the exotic sword. Enjoy it. And if this video helped, remember to leave a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment down below in the comment section. And as always, Guardians, stay violent and be privileged.